believe there's room in Orem for everyone, and I want to celebrate our unity as a diverse community. I live in Orem with my family, my husband, my 2 kids, and we find it a special place to live. I work as a project manager for a local graphic design studio. I volunteer for my church. I volunteer for community organizations. In my professional career, I have spent countless hours developing relationships, building community partnerships. And so I understand the value of a city council member who is able to work with different arms and departments of a government system. While I bring a lot of professional and volunteer experience to the position of city council member, I find that my experience as a human in this community and a mother raising young children here provides me the best experience as a humble public servant, because I believe public service should be just that, service over a profession or an extension of your career. I'm running because Orem is a special place to live, and I want to take advantage of the unique, so I'm trying to go fast, so I can't breathe. Got 1 minute. I want to take advantage of our unique opportunity we have to really ask ourselves how we want to live for the next 20 years. And I think we need to take ownership and of the growth, stake ownership in the growth of, or in the trajectory of Orem's growth by providing policy opportunities for middle housing. I want to prioritize outdoor access, making it equitable to all by investing in parks, because I believe those are the greatest investments to our community, to the health of our community. I want to prioritize bikeability, walkability to create a more child-friendly city and clean air. I am passionate about the city I live in because I'm out there using, in my phase of life, I'm using the splash pads, I'm using the Sarah pool, I'm at the bike trails, I'm at the parks. I'm invested in how my family will grow here, and I want to be a part of the decision making that makes Orem a special place to live. So I hope you'll vote for me, Michelle Jensen. Thank you.
Next, we have Quinn Beacom. Just a side note, please make sure to speak directly into the microphone so we can hear all of you guys. Thank you.
A really big thanks to everybody who's out here tonight. I think it really shows your commitment to the city and for your engagement with issues that will really determine our future. I appreciate you being here. I'm running for city council because Orem's a remarkable city. It's a city that I'm in love with. We have wonderful strengths, and I've seen them time and time again as I've raised my family. There are also some ways that Orem can be better. By way of personal introduction, I am a professor of government at BYU. I'm constantly thinking of ways in which governments can be better, and I encourage my students to be really active and engaged in their communities and try to practice what I preach there. I've also worked as a management and leadership consultant in the private sector and have worked in national policy making as well. In Orem, I spent the last 4 years on the Natural Resources Stewardship Committee, as a citizen committee that thinks about how we can best use our natural resources here. I've been a soccer coach for many years with Orem Youth Soccer and served on the Good Governance Advisory Board for Utah County. Before that, I was a school board member, and I just love investing in people and in the institutions of our community. My biggest priority is making sure we get our processes right. I want to build coalitions between people with different perspectives across the community. I think we have an opportunity to really have better avenues for citizen engagement. I advocated for longer lead times for citizen input on city decisions. I think we need citizen committees with good budgets to be very actively engaged, work hand in hand with the city. We need to restart Orem Youth Council, which is not currently operating. We need to get seniors, university students, and anybody else who feels somehow left behind or they don't fit in, more avenues to craft city decisions. I really care about neighborhoods. I want to preserve and strengthen our neighborhoods. I want us to give neighborhoods an opportunity to make decisions at the local level, to have neighborhood grants. We need to reactivate neighborhood commissions, get them to give regular input. I'm a fiscal conservative. I think we need to invest responsibly. I believe in beautiful public spaces, better trails and transport corridors, and efficient public services. Thank you. Really appreciate you being here.
Next, we have Todd Linsley.
I'm going next because I want to tell you to vote for that guy. Holy mackerel. Very qualified. I'm impressed. My name is Todd Linsley, father of two, married for 20 years. I lived in Orem for 15. I love my family. I love my children. I go to Orem Elementary School. My wife and I are both school teachers. We believe very strongly that our children need to be raised in a place that is worthy of them. And I believe that Orem is worthy of them. I want to be there at the crossroads. I want to make sure that they are well educated, that they are well taken care of in a community that cares. It's incredibly important to me to foster volunteerism. I've been involved with the 4-H mentoring program. We volunteered for several community outreach programs. I just feel really strongly that I can be there for you. I listen. That is one of my greatest strengths, is I listen. And if you don't feel like you're being heard by your representative, it is important that you put people in place that will hear you. I listen to my wife, which I think should be the one at the pulpit right now, personally. But she's chosen not to run, so thank you. I believe very strongly in being a fiscal conservative. I believe that we need to manage our growth here in Orem. Orem is vastly pushing into the future, and we need to go into the future as well with strength, with a strong law and order, with strong ideas for handling the development of a building. I will do that, and I will listen. My name is Todd Linsley, and I hope I have your vote. Thank you.
Next, we have David Spencer.
I'm David Spencer, and I'm running for re-election for the Orem City Council. Thank you for coming tonight. I've lived in Orem for 37 years. I married Julie Crandall from Springville, and don't hold that against me. But we have 4 children: Casey, Hannah, Taylor, and Maddie. A dog named Chester that's diabetic, and we have to give them insulin shots twice a day. The priorities that I have for running for city council is continue to listen to the citizens of Orem. That's my main goal, is to listen. You can reach my phone, email, I'll come to your home, and I'll listen. My concern is high density housing creeping into our neighborhoods. And we need to keep the integrity of our neighborhoods intact. Another concern is traffic and congestion. People don't realize that we have 4 exits and entrances in the Orem. So everybody wants to come through Orem. They go to Provo, PG, Linden. So maybe we should have a toll for Provo and maybe get some money and change that. I'm just joking on that. Affordable housing is another key topic, and we need to tackle that issue. As a council member, we are lowering the water rates this year. No city in Utah is lowering water rates like so. You have 4 tiers. We're lowering the rates, so hopefully you'll enjoy that when you get your bill in August. We have many amenities in Orem: dog parks, mountain bike course up the canyon. We have new pickleball courts all over the place. Splash pad at Palisades. You know, we also have new rec center and a library hall, which is a huge amount. We have new Christmas lights, which are very nice at Christmas. Hillcrest is another elementary we just purchased for a park in Southern Orem, which would be very nice for the citizens there. One thing I want to give a shout out is to our police and our fire. I support them 110%, and we need to thank them for what they do for us to keep Orem safe. They put their lives on the line every day to keep us safe. If you see an officer, thank them because they deserve it. I'm David Spencer. I ask for your support to keep Orem moving in the right direction. Thank you.
Next up, Mike Carpenter.
So my name is Mike Carpenter. I totally unprepared. As honestly, I got into this. I prayed and I thought about it, what I needed to do to be more civically engaged. I'm constantly encouraging people to run, step up, and do what's right, and help be a part of the solution. And what I realized is I needed to do it to prove that to the people I'm encouraging that anybody can. I love this town. I was born and raised here. I raised my family here. And I'm concerned that I'm not going to want to raise grandchildren here. That's the way we're going. I'm concerned that we're not taking care of our first responders the way we should. We have high turnover. I see constant big box buildings coming in and no emphasis on smaller businesses that really feed the community rather than the corporations. So I would like to see us, strengthen our community and the people within it and build up smaller businesses and more shops, places to go. So Walmart isn't your only solution. I believe that we need to step away from helping big box stores. If we're going to help somebody, let's help the local community and the small business. Orem is a fantastic place to live. I've lived it my whole life. I've never wanted to be anywhere else. And I'm hoping that if you choose to elect me, that I can continue to make it such a place.
Speaking next, we have Ruiz.
Hello, I'm Shantae Ruiz Zundel. Took me a while to learn the Zundel or the Zundel, but I love Orem. That's why I'm running. My two girls were born in Orem Community Hospital. I met my husband, to go all the way to the East Coast to meet an Orem boy. But he and his family, the Zundels, are from Orem. They've been here for over 30 years, and Orem's future is my future. It's my girl's future, and I want to protect that future. And Orem's past is my family's past, and I want to preserve what Orem has been. I am an attorney by trade. I was a guardian ad litem attorney. I represented abused and neglected children. My first area that I covered was Orem. So I protected those children as best I could. Sometimes I made their lives better, and sometimes I lost the fight, but I always fought. And that's what I plan to do as a city council member. I plan to continue to fight for those kids and also for the children whose parents are able to advocate for them. The parents who can speak up and listen to those parents. Because I know parents, they know what's best for their children. They have a vision, they have a dream. I believe Orem's community is strong, and the best thing about Orem is you. You really, I love running for city council because I get to talk to each one of you. I get to hear what matters to you. And I would bring my legal training to city council. I would research, I would be prepared. I will know the laws and I will fight. I can go from mommy mode to attorney mode in a blink of an eye. I am also an advocate for the police and fire departments. I was a support staff for the FBI. I got to work with local sheriffs and police departments, and I will continue to be that support staff because I saw them risk everything, and I love them so much. The big takeaway from me is that I love Orem. I will do everything to protect Orem, and I will advocate for you. Thank you.
Next, we have John Jensen.
I'm running under the name John Jay. We have 2 Jensen running this election. And I look forward to your votes for council. So my background is pretty straightforward. I moved to Orem, Utah when I was in 4th grade, attended Hillcrest Elementary, had wonderful memories there, wonderful tutors and teachers. Graduated from Orem High, spent about 20 years of my life here. My family's here, raised them. Graduates from Orem High again. My kids are heavily involved in this community, and it's been wonderful. Really enjoy it. People have asked, why am I running? I'm running because people have asked me to run. I come from a small business background, and those in the community said, John, you should run. And I thought, that's interesting. I don't go to bed every night, don't wake up every morning thinking about running for city council. I have a very interesting career. I actually petition and work with city governments regularly. I'm generally presented to city councils 2 to 3 times a week, all along I-15 from St. George to North Ogden, the Heber Valley. So I get to interact with city councils all the time. I get to interact with their laws, their ordinances, and I'm pretty familiar with how the city councils work. Personally, I believe we have some pretty big issues in front of us. I'm pretty afraid of what my children will be facing when they want to live here. Right now, if you want to buy or rent here, you have to be fairly wealthy or have hardly any money left after you pay rent. That's a reality. So I'm a big proponent of attainability, housing attainability, okay? Which means we have to work a little bit more creatively than maybe in the past. I really want my kids to be able to live here. I think a lot of the other candidates have said similar things. There's a lot of cool stuff about Orem. I love Orem. I love the parks, love the trails, love the amenities. It's a cool place. Unfortunately, if we don't do things that help our kids to afford to live here, only the wealthy will live here. That's it. Because a $500,000 average home for Orem City right now, it takes a lot of income. Teachers can't afford that. First responders can't afford that. It's hard. A lot of these individuals come to Orem and realize they can't live in Orem. So that's a big deal for me. I'm a big proponent of basically the people. I really believe the government is here to serve the people, not to serve itself. So I'm a big proponent of liberty. I'm really interested in doing things in a good budget. I'm for the rule of law. I look for your vote. And remember, my name is John Jay. Thank you.
Speaking next, we have Millett.
Good evening, my name is Millett. My husband Ken and I have 4 children, Jacob, Katie, Joseph, and Sarah. We've lived in Orem over 30 years, and we have thoroughly enjoyed raising our children in Orem. It's a great place to live. I grew up in Heber Valley. I attended BYU and got my bachelor's degree in business management and finance and worked in the public sector for a few years, and then we were blessed with our kids, so I was able to be a stay-at-home mom. My qualifications for Orem City Council are somewhat diverse. I've served in a number of community, school, and civic capacities, including the Orem Care Tax Commission, Neighborhood Preservation Committee. I've chaired our school community council in our high school, and I've been a precinct chair, vice chair, and a state and county delegate. I love community service, and I believe that it's very important to take part in that. It brings joy to my life to better our community in those capacities. I understand, because of this experience that I've had in these communities, how our government works, and I know how to get things done. I've been able to learn how to collaborate with others, how to bring forward fresh ideas, and also how to be an influencer for positive outcomes. I think that's what we all want. When I talk to residents around the city, the biggest thing I hear is growth. The biggest issue is growth. And its related problems of development, of housing, and of traffic, especially traffic. I'm currently serving on the Transportation Advisory Commission. And the one thing I think is very important is that we need to learn how to listen and understand what's happening in the different areas of Orem if we want to have positive outcomes. I realize the importance of listening and finding solutions to these traffic growth and housing problems. They're big problems, but I think if we work together, we can solve these problems. We can help direct the growth to the right areas so it doesn't infringe on our neighborhoods and our family-friendly environment. I'm passionate about preserving our neighborhoods. I want Orem residents to know that I'm ready to work for their benefit. I'll listen to your concerns. I'll make sure that you have a voice and that you're heard. I'm Renee Millett. I'm running for Orem City Council. I hope to earn your vote and your confidence. I firmly believe that if we work together, we tackle big problems together, we'll keep Orem the wonderful place that it is. And my goal as a city council member is to preserve Orem neighborhoods, to support Orem families, and to ensure that Orem has a bright future. Thank you so much.
Speaking next, we have Mickey Cochran.
My name is Mickey Cochran. I've lived here for a long time. I first came to Orem in 1968 on my way to the University of Arizona for Naval ROTC drill team competition. And I remember driving through Orem on Highway 89, there was no I-15. And I remember the sleepy little town that it was. In 1974, I came to BYU to finish my 5th senior year, having attended 4 different universities prior to that, and serving a mission in Korea and resigning my commission in the United States Navy to return and finish everything. Kathy and I were married at that time. Our first child was born 6 weeks after we moved here. All of my children had born. I graduated in math and physics, a major with a degree in elementary education. And the day after I graduated, I began teaching 4th grade. I had 43 students in my first 4th grade class, which, as you know, is a little bit large compared to today's. It was a wonderful experience. I was hired by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in their church educational system. Kathy and I spent 9 years in Huntington. We came back to Orem so that I could finish my doctorate. I taught at Brigham Young University and the Department of Religion up to about 30 years. I love Orem. I'm not a one-trick pony. I know Orem quite well. I have been in the irrigation canals, I've shoveled, I've driven a long-haul truck. I've served as a laborer in a hunter power plant. I've owned businesses here. And I currently serve as chairman of the Orem City Planning Commission. I'm in my 6th year in that capacity on the Planning Commission. I've done lots of things in Orem. I love the city. My grandchildren and my son, about 5 years ago, bought the home across the street from us. And so most of my family is within walking distance. They can afford to live in Orem. And affordable housing, low and moderate income is a direction we need to go. I am simply the best candidate for the Orem City Council. Mickey, thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Tom McDonald.
Good evening. My name is Tom McDonald. I've lived here since junior high. Kay and I met then. Kay, Megan, and I met then, and we've raised our 4 children here. We're married shortly after my mission. A friend of mine in a neighboring town told me that their mayor had no contestant and that the city council was not facing a primary. I must admit that at first I was a bit jealous. And then I thought, how great it is to live in a city where so many people are interested in making the city a better place. My hat is off to all those who want to run for office and do that honorably. On the city council, I've used my skills as a CEO, CFO, and CPA in my former life, and I'm a current assistant dean at the School of Business at Utah Valley University to come to solutions to problems. When I first ran, the big issues were utopia. How can we control their expenditures and still provide high-speed fiber to the neighbors who want it? Another big issue was Midtown. How can we solve that problem, both the economics and eyesore problems? Another big one was how can we double our rainy day fund? I'm pleased to report that we've had success in all those areas by working with citizens and collaboratively with staff and others to great success. Of course, other problems quickly rose to the front. If you watch City Council, you'll see that we almost always vote consensus. And when we do disagree, we choose not to be disagreeable. Perhaps there are issues in the past that you and I have disagreed on. But I bet there's many more we've agreed on. Perhaps a few. The fact that Orem is the #1 city for best performing city, the best city to live in Utah. the best city for community optimism, the best city for people over 80, the best city for working parents. Or maybe it's more local issues, like how we're adapting our master State Street plan, where we found it didn't fit the neighborhood values at 1600 North and 400 West. Maybe it's better that we've listened to police and other first responders. So this is now the place to work if you're a fireman or a police officer. Maybe it's just that our water and sewer rates that David mentioned have dropped, so our taxes and fees are among the lowest in the community. I will listen, I will continue to listen and deliver results. My name is Tom McDonald. I ask for your vote and your support. Thank you.
We will now be hearing from our mayoral candidates, starting with Zakar.
My name is Zakar, and I'm really grateful to see so many familiar faces coming here to support me. It really brings me some incredible joy in my heart. I'm an immigrant to this country. I moved to the United States in 1997 with $37.50 in my name. I moved to Orem here in 2001. I met my wife Lexi in New York before I moved to Utah here, she went to BYU. We've been married for 20 years this year. We have 5 beautiful children. Zach, Zane, Xander, Zed, and Zeke. I love this city, and I definitely love this country. I came in from a place where most people's voices were silenced. I believe in making a difference. I have been involved with the Orem City politics for years. I have been involved with the Orem City Volunteer Police Program since 2016. I serve in it as much as I can, even with my schedule as a business owner. I have been volunteering with the Orem City Planning Commission for a couple of years now. And I saw a lot of things that came across the Planning Commission that we need to address. I understand that the city is growing, and I also understand that the citizens here are one of the best things the city has. We have very involved citizens, and I believe that we can bridge the gap between the city and the citizens. The more I get involved, the more I saw that we veered away from a public servant mindset, and we need to get back to that. I believe that our citizens can get more involved, and I know how to do this. I have owned multiple businesses in Orem on State Street, and I have been involved with the City Planning Commission when it came to a few of the zone changes that were not favorable for property rights. I know that growth is evident. We are growing, but I also believe that we can make a difference by not putting high-density home in the middle of neighborhoods, especially when they're granted exemption from parking spots. Of course, I'd love to talk to all of you about those examples out there. There are so many things to mention. 2.5 minutes are not enough for how long I've lived in this beautiful city. I've been here for 14 years. My name is Zakar. I'm running for Orem City Mayor, and I ask for your vote.
Next, we'll hear from David Young.
Hello, my name is Dave Young. I'm running for mayor. Why should you elect me? Because I've got a lot of valuable experience that would benefit our city. For one, I know how to get things done. I've started a number of small businesses. For the past 35 years, I've managed investments in some of the most difficult markets in history. I have a deep understanding of real estate and how to do it right. I've founded several nonprofits, and I've been on several nonprofit boards. I've even been a performer, so I understand the arts. In my spare time, all my passions are Utah's recreation activities. Most importantly, though, I raised my family in Orem. I know what Family City USA should be. Orem is my home. I've lived here for 31 years. For the first 20 years, Orem was as advertised. I love living in Family City USA. The last 10 years, things started to change, and not in a good way. Rentals increased to 40% of dwellings. Not that there's anything fundamentally wrong with rentals, but it becomes a problem when zones are regularly changed on citizens and high-density housing projects are repeatedly dropped on them. The biggest problem is when high-density housing is put into areas where there's not adequate infrastructure, and that's happened repeatedly. As a result of Orm's current policies, traffic has skyrocketed. Another problem, small businesses have been leaving Orem because the city has made it difficult to run a business. I'm running for mayor because several community leaders reached out and asked me to run. They are seriously concerned that our city is headed in the wrong direction. They believe that we need a fresh face and a new voice to take us forward into the future. It's simple. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. We need to stop watching the same old reruns and using the same old politicians and getting the same old results over and over. I'm not a politician. I'm a citizen who believes that Orem has amazing people that need to be heard. I believe that with your help together, we can solve our problems that the city faces and put Orem back on track to be a great place to live for all of us. My slogan has always been keep the best and fix the rest. Thank you for taking the time to come out tonight and learn more about your candidates. I'm Dave Young. I'm running to be Orem's next mayor, and I ask for your vote.
Greg G. Williams was unable to attend tonight, so finally we'll be hearing from Jim Evans.
Start the clock. It was sad to think between your ice cream or milkshakes and the last person speaking. Thanks for all respect. Okay. I'm grateful for this opportunity to be running as mayor in such a wonderful community as Orem. And Hannah and I have lived here for over 36 years, raised our family here. But Hannah, out of those 36, taught kindergarten in Orem for 26. I think she knows more kids than I do here. When Mayor Washburn passed away back in 2011, the council, there were 13 of us put our name on a list, and I was just a citizen like the others on that list, and the council picked me to run as mayor and serve as mayor for the next 2 years. It was a difficult time in Orem. You remember we were in the Great Recession in Orem, and there was a lot of belt tightening and some things we had to do, put our hands together and our brains together, figure out how we could get through that. We did it together. We did some amazing things. We're now seeing the fruits of. My first priority as mayor will be to listen to the Orem residents, as I've done in a lot of the positions I've had in Orem in the past. Hold regular meetings throughout the city and do different types of things. I was thinking it'd be fun to have a chat with the mayor type of thing with business community leaders on a regular basis. You know, Orem, I love the neighborhoods of Orem, and I think for me, the number one thing about Orem is the neighborhood feel that we have, and we need to do things to continue to protect those neighborhoods. Our quality of life is something I've committed to. We have amazing parks, we have amazing trails, as was talked about by some of our candidates before. I support the police and the fire, and I support the things that the council did recently to increase their salaries and make some adjustments in the way they're structured so we can have more police want to stay there and fire than leave. Not only do you have the tax base support that, but there's other interesting things you can do. When I was mayor before, I worked with the police and we put together a fundraiser where we actually raised money as private citizens to buy equipment for the motorcycle police. I enjoyed doing that. We need to keep our recreation programs, our parks, trails, amenities world class. I love Sierra. I love the other things that we have here at Sierra Hill Center Theater. Together we can accomplish a lot of things, and I just ask you to you can look at my track record of things I've done in the past. It's just been with the mindset of wanting to serve you as citizens. I'd ask you to join with me once again here in Orem, that we can once again keep Orem Family City USA. Once again, that we can keep our neighborhoods safe, and I promise and commit to you that I'll listen as I've done in the past. I'm Jim Evans. I ask for your vote as Orem's next mayor. Thank you.